What would you say the most impressive thing was? Kuchar was just talking about your bogey putt, but you had a lot of good putts out there. What stood out to you?
Probably what was going on internally, to be honest. I mean, obviously I made a ton of putts, and I hadn't been in contention really since probably my U.S. Open win. And to kind of have those nerves, and then obviously you're also chasing a different kind of nerves of trying to shoot 59. And so I started feeling the nerves kind of on 10. And, and then making that bogey on 12, making that putt was huge. But in my mind, I think in the past I would have kind of coasted in and shot a nice 8-9 under, and to keep the pedal down and to stay aggressive mentally, I think was the most impressive thing to myself. And then obviously making all those putts was, out of the ordinary. It was pretty awesome.
Yeah, you said keep the pedal down. I mean, you seem reluctantly happy as you finished up because of some of those close calls, those last few holes. Does that kind of show you were kind of going for maybe not necessarily the record, but trying to get to that certain number?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think anyone that has ever shot 59 or gets in that kind of zone, you don't really think about score. You just are so focused on the next shot. I really didn't think about it till I got to AT&T box. And then when I did, I was like, oh my gosh, it would have been really nice to have one of those last two, because then I only have to birdie 18. But yeah, I mean, once I hit the fairway on 18, I knew I was going to have a chance to hopefully try to shoot that special number. I gave it my best shot. Unfortunately, I left some putts short, but I mean, I'm super happy with my round. Anytime you shoot 12 under anywhere, you got to be happy. So,
can you talk about the drop at 16, and then also in regards to your resume of best round you've had? Just because this is a 60 doesn't mean it was your best round. So where does this fall in your rounds?
Yeah, so the drop wasn't from a plug lie. It was from an animal burrowing hole. We were right on the edge of it to where it was in my way, and I was essentially in the start of that animal burrowing hole. I brought the rules official over to make sure, because obviously the ground's very saturated, and I asked him, I said, what do you think this is? And he goes, yeah, that does not look like a divot or any sort of footprint. It was definitely something that was going under the surface, and so that's why we got the drop there. And then, I mean, I don't know how you could beat around like this at Pebble Beach. Even if I haven't shot 59, but I would say even if I had shot 59 somewhere, I don't think it can compare to shooting a score like this at one of the most historic golf courses in the world.
And one last thing, the drop. If you had not gotten a drop, how much more treacherous would the shot have been?
It would have been pretty tough. Definitely would have been a decision to decide, do we, how aggressive do we be going at the flag, or more towards the center of the green or the right side of the green. So I think I still could have advanced it to probably the front of the green. So yeah.
Okay. Two quick questions. You talked about the nerves. What were the nerves and emotions like over that putt on 18? And throughout the whole day, were you any more aggressive thinking there might not be a final round tomorrow, given the forecast? I
definitely, as far as no round tomorrow, I definitely thought about it last night and this morning with everyone saying how bad the weather's going to be. You're like, all right, well, you got to have that mentality that today's the last day, and so try to go for broke. With that said, that's very rare that we have 54 holes, so I wasn't banking on that, and I'm still not banking on it. But, out there, I really wasn't thinking much until you kind of get to that back nine, where those last few holes I was just, see ball, hit ball, try to hit it where I wanted to, and I really had a good feel on the greens. And so in my mind, I was like, all right, let's just get us to where we're putting, because the hole seemed like a bucket today. So.
And then your emotions at 18, standing.
Oh yeah, sorry. I was nervous. I backed away. I thought I had maybe like a little sand on it, so I was like, all right, I'm gonna make sure if I'm hitting this putt, I'm completely committed. So I started my process over, and I think if I hit it with correct speed, I still think I maybe missed just high, so I might have just misread it. But yeah, I definitely had nerves, and like you said, if there is a chance that it is 54 holes, or obviously going into tomorrow, I still wanted the birdie, so I didn't want to be too aggressive and blow it by, so I wanted to secure the birdie as well.
You've said it yourself, you've struggled with the putter of late, so what do you attribute to the fact that you put it out of your mind today?
I got to give some credit to my team, and I worked with a guy by the name of Mike, and sorry, don't know his last name. Just met him this week. I flew in early Sunday, spent about 3-4 hours with him. I had 9 putters on the putting green, and I've been using kind of the putter that Ricky and I've been using. Kind of started using that last year, and I've really struggled on the greens since the U.S. Open. And so basically, I brought these putters, and we resulted to changing no line on the putter. I went a little bit shorter, and I went from being conventional to crosshand. So a lot of big changes. But when you're in a spot where I was mentally in putting, you kind of needed a change just so it was something totally different, so you couldn't complain or have those same feels that I had, in these previous tournaments. So yeah, a lot changed, but I think not having the line on the putter has been the biggest thing for me.
When was the last time you putted cross-handed?
I did in the Bahamas at Tiger's event, and I did like 1 or 2 rounds in Japan this fall. But prior to that, not since college. So it's not a normal thing for me.
Anything from the work you do at Julie that really was pivotal today?
Yeah, I mean the brunt of our work has been on the putting recently, and we've been so focused on it. And she kind of maybe told me, she told me this week. She goes, "Let's stop having goals for putting, and let's just move on. We were putting too much emphasis on the putting, and we were trying to have the best attitude we could possibly have, especially coming into greens like this where they are really bumpy, so slopey, and it makes it really hard to make putts. And so I was really just trying to focus on making the best stroke I can, and regardless of where the ball goes, even though everyone tries to do that, it's been really hard for me lately. And I've done a good job this week of that, and I think my patience the first 2 days on the greens really paid off, because then obviously I made a lot of putts today.
How did you get connected to Mike?
Through actually some friends. So Phil Kenyon, he works under Phil Kenyon, which is Max's putting coach, and PK couldn't work with me, so he said, "Hey, this guy, I work with him," and he was available, and I said, "Hey, I just need someone to look at this." And by no means did he, I think, have the intentions of changing a lot, but as we kind of talked and went through it here last Sunday, we kind of came up with where I'm at right now, and it's pretty nice to see the ball roll where I want and go in.
You kind of touched on this briefly, but how different is trying to shoot 59 and ending up on 60 at Pebble, given the history here? I mean, how different does that resonate now, and how different do you think you'll look back on it 5, 10, 15 years from now?
Yeah, I think anytime you shoot 59, I think those nerves come up, even if you're at home. I think it's for any golfer that happens. And then to put it on at a place like this in a signature event makes it even a little bit more special. And, that's where I think those nerves coming down those last 6 holes, even though it's a Saturday, I really felt like it was the end of a tournament, because I did have a chance to do something really special. So, even though I fell short on the 59, 60, it's still pretty awesome.
Can you talk just briefly about your first 2 rounds, because you're pretty far back. You only 5 under compared to what you did today.
Yeah.
How did you turn that around, or what was going on those first 2 rounds that wasn't happening for you?
The first round at Spyglass, I think I let the conditions of the course and losing a ball off the tee in the rough, where we saw exactly where it went. I was cruising at 1 or 2 under, I think, and then on a layup shot where my caddy was, he literally walked up there, because we knew we were going to have to hit it in the rough, and so he walked up there and he saw it within probably a 3-foot circle of exactly where it landed, and we lost the ball. And I went into a mud area, which I thought was casual water, and we had a whole ordeal. Well, that kind of got me off my rhythm, and so I was cruising at 2 under going in that hole and felt great, and then proceeded to make some mistakes and shoot even par that day. And then yesterday I had a great round going. I was 7 under through 7 under through I think about 13 or 14 holes, and then played my last 4 or 5 holes 2 over. So yesterday I played awesome. I mean, if I finish out at 7 under, it would have been the second best round of the day. So I was playing good yesterday, and it just was nice to keep it going today.
How do you handle kind of, you mentioned the struggles or maybe not being contention the last few months, like having those wins last year, realizing you can be one of the best in the world, but then not kind of be where you want to be those next few months?
It's obviously tough. I think if you ask some people on my team, they probably would have predicted it, just because you do have such a great year, and then we had some time off, and it's it's kind of hard because for me, it was hard to get back to present and to not be frustrated, and now your expectations are through the roof. And so that's been kind of a little bit of a struggle in this first part of the year. And then you add not putting well, and so then I was really getting frustrated. But, I know it's the start of the year. I've been hitting it good, and I've been doing a lot of positive things. So I just have really been trying to focus on that. And then even though sometimes I didn't know where I was going with the putting, I had to believe that it was going to eventually come back. And so, it's honestly more than anything, it's just really rewarding to finally make some putts, see some putts, and, I feel like I rewarded myself with being patient and then having a great day today.
Best putting round you've ever had?
Yeah, I don't think I've had a better putting round.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you ever shot 59 at home?
No. 60 is my lowest score.
When was the last time you were close?
Last time I was close, actually, I had a chance somewhat in Hawaii this year, in Maui. Last round, I shot 62, was 10 under, going into, last hole, par 5, and I had about 8-footer to shoot 61. So I was somewhat close that day. Prior to that, on tour, my lowest score was 62. It's been a while. It's probably been 6-7 years.
Which was the putt you were most jazzed about making?
Probably that
12.
bogey putt. That bogey putt on 12. I mean, honestly, of any of the putts today that I was not really trying to make was that one. I really was just focused on my speed and just trying to get it down there, 2-putt, get the double, go to the next hole, and move on. And for that to go in, it was like, all right, man, I'm hot.
What was the thought process on going left, the lefty shot? Was there any way you could?
Obviously, if I missed that putt and make double, I could have gone through my head of all the things I could have done. The ball was so far above my feet, and I thought if I tried to wedge it, I would hit it off the hosel, and didn't know where it was going to go. I guess I could have maybe got, now that I think about it, I could have maybe got a 3-wood or something, or a putter, and just try to put it on the green. I have a decent lefty swing and can hit it. The lie wasn't great, so it didn't come out awesome, but I really thought I could hit the shot. So I also thought it was a good mental check for me as well to go lefty, because that's something that I think under pressure usually you'd shy away from. And so I kind of challenged myself a little bit and was like, hey, let's see if you can handle this mentally and not be so scared. So I tried to pull off the shot. I didn't, but it worked out. Yeah, thanks, guys.
Thank you.